Another day, another flow roll, this time with Elijah Henry, one of Perth Pro Wrestling's brightest up-and-coming talents. And you know, I do like to highlight the next gen, so going for an Imanari roll there, pretty hot off the ranks, but you don't hit me with my own moves, my man. But Elijah's someone who is quite the hybrid athlete. You will see him incorporate multiple styles, a lot of grappling, a lot of strikes. Very, very much influenced by the Japanese junior heavyweight and heavyweight styles of pro wrestling. So I think he's a very unique, different talent for the EPW landscape. I'll try to call some of the action because I always end up just talking about histories and backstories and things like that and kind of miss the whole narration part. So here he's going for a figure four. I'm kind of slowly transitioning, almost like a reverse De La Riva. I didn't get the hook in, but I was going for the kiss of the dragon into the crab ride and then the rear naked choke. Again, the whole purpose of these chain wrestling flow rolls is just to be creative, try new things, see what works. I often find that off the back of it, we kind of end up with a couple of new techniques that we've never done before, and we build from there. So I went with the go behind. He transitioned into a reverse drop toe hold, using that to grab the opposite leg, and then looking for a Romero special or a Mexican surfboard now. So here, as he went back, I was able to free my left hand, which means that he can't elevate me. And then using the hooks that he already has, once I get rid of one, I kind of have him hooked up, which allows me to then take control of his leg there. Little spinning toe hold. Reverse ankle lock. I've got a position very similar to the saddle in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And then going into the STF, or step over toe hold with face lock. But yeah, as I was saying, Elijah is definitely a top up-and-coming guy. Someone you should definitely be on the watch out for, regardless of where you watch your wrestling, and you know, whether you're in Perth or not. Because I think that he's been hindered by a couple of false starts due to injury, but he's someone who has a lot of promise. You're going to see a lot of him in the EPW Invitational coming up, which is a 9-month-long tournament. They've extended out the Invitational and made it more than just a single elimination. So this is really going to be his opportunity to show himself across multiple shows, multiple venues, multiple opponents, and with a bit of consistency and momentum, which I believe is all that he needs. So here a grounded full Nelson stretch. Very difficult to get out of as it cuts off a lot of the escapes, but I was able to stand up. Tried to use a bit of brute force, didn't work, so went into a little British influenced break, go behind into the hammerlock, roll out and reset, tie the shoes. Got to have those shoelaces tied. Safety comes first. I think the important thing as well with these flow rolls is just being reactive. Instead of thinking about what you want to do and what you might want to do in 3, 4, or 5 moves time, you know, it doesn't always work out that way. You might have 3 moves ahead planned, but then as soon as they offer something different, it kind of breaks the cycle, and now you can't hit those 3 or 4 moves. Really nice octopus stretch now. So that's why I really focus on clearing the mind, not worrying or stressing out too much, and just reacting. Whatever comes, just react. See what happens. The whole point is to be playful. And hey, if it doesn't work, you reset, you start again, or you see how you can transition elsewhere. Using that collar tie out of the knuckle lock to almost bring him down with a little bit of a snap down. I went to go and transition after the back take into an armbar, but the positioning of my right leg, you'll see it was kind of trapped under his body, which made it very difficult. But eventually, I was able to get it free. He's doing a good job of stacking me now, but I have transitioned out into a triangle choke. A really good escape for the triangle is just to posture up as he did. Sometimes you can deadlift powerbomb them out of it. But we try to keep the impact quite low. in these rolls. So he's moved off into a half crab, bringing it down into a Muda lock. Not the most comfortable of positions. Pretty difficult to escape out of too, because you don't really have any control of their grips. You can't really reach. So that's why I tend to just try to take them off their base. If I can reach their arm or their head, it allows me to put pressure and relieve the pressure off my legs. Now going into a knee ride. Often that opens up the opposite arm and then I can float over into that far side armbar. Little low single, one of my favorite single leg takedowns, very accessible from any position. He's bringing me over now, trapping the leg. This one's really unique. You can go into some real cool leg capture Germans or dragon suplexes. But again, it just kind of takes away one of my bases, makes it really, really tricky to counter. Just hit a little sucker drag out of the front headlock, stepping over into the Mahi style cradle, reversing it back, break away, and that's the end of the flow roll.